Okay, so let's carry on. So now I want to kind of convert this smoothed previous month to actual polygons. So, but let me just name this just to keep things clean. Though was going to be cleaning the entire outline properly at the end of everything, but for now let me just name this so I can actually keep track of this actual model. So I'm just name this to. So I need to have a backup for this obviously. So I'm creating a backup now by duplicating this. Then I'm hiding that. I'm leaving just this one visible right now. So I'm just checking this now just to be sure if the topology is a bit evened out, which is what we want, which is fine. If you could, okay, that's just okay, that's fine. That's the other backup we had, so I'll just leave that there. We'll still use that later on. But for this now, let me just, I think I need to, let's see, convert. So make sure this is on smooth. Hit 3 on your keyboard to go to preview smooth. So now I want to convert this preview smooth now to actual polygons. That's the next thing I want to do now. Convert this preview smooth to actual polygons. So make sure it's smoothed, modify, no, let me just check this again, just to be sure. So I don't want to go back to this, so I'm just checking this. So modify, convert, smooth mesh preview to polygons. Click on that. So that should automatically add more subdivision level to your model. Though this is way too much though still necessary, but you can see how even spaced out those polygons, those additional polygons are. So that's why we needed to add more polygon. We needed to add more cuts to this. That's why we need to add more cuts to this just to make sure the spacing on each polygon is kind of evened out correctly. So we kind of have like evened out spacing. So when we're sculpting on top of this in ZBrush, we kind of have more subdivision, like evened out subdivision around the model that will kind of enable us sculpt properly without losing details on various parts of the model. So let me hide this reference image at the back. So Control H to hide that. Okay, so now we can now I think I can use this topology we have in here now to kind of extract out another mesh out of this. So I want to kind of, let me just get this in view. I want to kind of make this ring around it, these 3 rings around this. So I want to kind of extract that out of this existing model. So instead of creating new cylinders in here, I can always extract this out of this existing parts we have in here. And it's already added evened out topology around this, more subdivision level around this. So it gives us more accuracy to kind of extract this out even properly. So let me kind of eyeball this and try to see where I can actually extract out of this. So go to face mode, select, let me see which face I can select. Let's see. Let me select somewhere around there should be fine. So let me select this. Let me zoom in and just check. Now this feels way too wide. So let me just select something down. Just this should be fine. Then yes, that's fine. Then I'll skip 2 and go to the next one. Holding down shift so I can select multiple faces. So maybe I'll skip another 2 edge loops or face loops, and yeah, somewhere around here also. So holding down shift, just making sure shift is selected. Then I can still hold down shift, right click and hold also. Then I can do a duplicate face for this. So, but before that, let me just check this to be sure if everything is working correctly. Very important. Before I move to the next major step, just make sure everything is working correctly. Then duplicate face for this. I'll click out. Let me just click out of this. Yeah, so now we have that three faces inside in here now selected out. So one, let me get this object mode. Yeah, so I'm selecting this now. So let me just name this to bat because that's the bat itself. Then you can see the other part. Select all of this. I need to combine them. So I need to combine all of this, making sure that they're in the right spot before moving on. I think they're in the right spot. Yeah, I should be in the right spot. Just to be sure. So I'll combine this now. So this does make this one mesh. So delete history on this. Okay. Let's go to the perspective view because the next thing we're going to do now is to extrude this out. You can extrude this out. That's fine. So let me just enter pivot on this. I'll go to extrude. Put it to the side, hold control, and then adjust the slider for the thickness, just to have it on a slower incremental. Maybe somewhere around there should be fine. Let's see, yeah, I think that'll be fine. You can add one subdivision level on this. That should be fine. That should be fine. Maybe I can do an auto smooth on this by hitting 3 on the keyboard, but we'll see. Let's see. Okay. So with the multi-cuts, I want to add a cut in the center of this. So hold control, hold shift. No, that's not in the center. It's not in the center. So I won't do that. So hold control and hold shift down also. So this will kind of snap this to the center of your model. So that's fine. Hold shift, hold control, snap this to the center of the model, then click to cut this. That's fine now. Now I think I'm actually going to bevel this. So select all of this edge loop. So double click to select the edge loop. Holding shift down to select multiple edge loops. And I'll do a bevel for this. I want to have 3. So segment, I'll add another segment to this. So 2 segments. The faction, holding down control, I would also slide this up just to have this on a slower incremental. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Let me just type in 1 in there. Okay, that's good enough for me. Maybe I can just, I want to kind of push this more upward. So let me kind of have probably a value of 0.5 or 0.005. Let's start with that. Okay. Let me see. We have an issue in here. We have an issue in here. So let's undo that. We have an issue in there. So I think I will just have to, let's try one in there. It's going all the way in. I think I may just have to do this as an individual piece. So select this, go to edge mode, double click on this, holding shift down. I don't know if I should be on. Let's try the transform constraint. Let's put this on. Let's try surface slide. Then we scale this. No. Let's try edge slide on this. With scale to, I'll scale this up like so. No, that would not work. So let's turn this off completely. Let's just scale this up like so. Yeah, that will work just fine. Around here should be fine. Okay. Now we need to repeat that for the other parts also. Just manually adjusting this. Usually what I'm doing is because I want to kind of have a tighter edge at the top and at the bottom. So that when we kind of smooth this out, we kind of have like a roundedness around very close to the edge that kind of catches highlight properly. Okay. So object mode, let's try smooth for this here. This is exactly what we want. So You can see how the highlights kind of reflecting around the edges. This is exactly what we want. Oh, we need to click this also for the inner parts. The same process also. Hold Control, hold down Shift to center this and click. Hold Control, hold down Shift, center this and click. Hold Control, hold down Shift, center this and click. No, I think then center. You double click on this, double click on this, double click on this edge loop. Then you can bevel this also. So segment, add one more segment to this. Okay. So the same repetitive process like we did the last time also. So let me just do that. So I've done that now around this. So the same process like the previous one. So that should be fine now. So when we kind of smooth this out, hit 3 on the keyboard. Yeah, that looks fine. That looks fine. We can definitely work with this. Okay. Let me just kind of scale this inwards. Let me see. That should be fine. Well, I'm guessing I might need to scale this out. Let me undo that. I might need to scale this out as an individual piece. I need to scale this out as an individual piece. Maybe this is even a good time to show you guys how you can actually separate your models out, even though you have combined them. So separate. So now we have them as an individual object now. So even in our outline, it will be a separate object now. So I'm scaling this individually. So center pivot on this. Now scale this in. This should be fine. Select this also. Center pivot on it. Now scale this in like so. That should be fine. So now I think I can combine all of this now by setting everything and combine. So I have them now as one single piece or one single object rather. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. We can work with this. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's good enough for us to work with. Okay, and we have also even topology around it. So the topology is kind of even. Let me give this a different material. So let's give this bling material. Okay, it's a more reflective material, which is fine. I'll select the main part itself, hold down hold down, right click and hold. Then bling also, darken this. So we have to make this look more reflective and more appealing. It looks more appealing right now, which is cool. Which is exactly what we want. So one is kind of catch reflective highlight around this to kind of make it look more give us a better visual. So the videos are kind of better now. So now we can add those pokers. Can add those sharp pokers around this. And we can still use this also. So I'm going to duplicate this. We can still use this. So I'll duplicate that. Move this out of the way. Kind of use this to create some kind of pokers around this, like sharp edges. Sharp edges that actually look more of a cone kind of shape. I prefer using this particular one because I have better topology around this. It's all quadred, so topology is highly important. So just to have things looking right when you kind of subdivide them even more without triangles. We want to kind of avoid triangles actually. We want to avoid triangles on this. So I'll select the edge now. Let me select this again. But before I want to kind of get this to the scale for this. I want to kind of get the scale right and then the positioning also right. So let me put this to the side. I'll scale this down like so. I'm just kind of averaging out on the scale. So this part might be a bit tricky, but no worries. You can always adjust this later on. But let's just try to get the scale a bit closer to what we want it to be. So with the extrude now, let me extrude this like so, even more. Okay, probably something like this should be fine. But no worries, even though it's not fine, you can always adjust that. So let me go to face mode. I'll select this inner face, the top face, before of this. Now I need to use the move tool to kind of push this out. I push this outward like so. I think I will need to scale this in also. Okay. Yeah, we're getting there, but I need to scale this in. I want to kind of make it feel, I want to make it feel like feel more sharp at the tip. So let me just check this out. Yeah, we're getting there. We're slowly getting there actually. So I'll go to vertex mode, select this vert, go to move to, and just push this up like so. Maybe even up a bit more. So around there should be fine. Then I would let me scale. No, let me scale this. I'll select everything like on the top. I'll scale this in. The bottom part looks okay. But I'll see what adjust that anyways. But this top part needs to be more pointed. Let me do a general scale for this. That feels way too small. Let me scale this out. Let's see. If I smooth this is what we have. And it's not pointy enough. So the perspective view, that perspective view is not really still pointy enough. So I also need to shrink this even more. So vertex, select all this. Let me just go to a better front view. Can do this properly. I'll scale this in just to have a more sharper point to this. Select everything. Let me scale this even more. Like so. Select this or scale this down. Select all of this and scale this down even more. Okay, yeah, now we're getting something a bit sharper. And something like so should be fine. So now let's kind of even out the edge flow. So I need to go to modeling toolkit to be on edge. So I'm going to be using a different one for this. So I'm going to insert edge loop too. So in this one we can actually add multiple edge loops around this. So we need like around I think we need around 4. So let me just quickly, I will just reset this too. So it should be on multiple edge loops. I believe 4 should be fine. So around 1 around here. So around here, 2, 3, 4. So 4 should be fine. And this particular one actually evens out the spacing accurately. So that's why we need this here, something like this. So now we have kind of evened out spacing for this. Unlike the multi-cut where you kind of use your eyes, kind of eyeball the spacing in between. But with the insert edge loop too, it kind of gives you even out edges when you kind of use the multiple edge loops for this. So the edge loop becomes evened out accurately. The distance are kind of equal. Let me see. Yeah, this should be fine. I can always scale this out and adjust this. So I'm basically just eyeballing this out. We're not really using an actual measurement for this. We're kind of eyeballing this out. So because our main reference scale is the bat itself. So every other thing that should be around this should kind of be like, you can do this accurately with real scale, but I believe I can actually eyeball this and then kind of get an eyeball shape in there. But no worries, we're still going to be adjusting this continuously to kind of get this to look right. Okay, so I believe this should be fine. I'm basically just checking out the topology for this just to be sure if everything is evened out properly. So now with this in here now, I'm just going to put this in place. I'm going to make a duplicate of this also, just to have a backup. Let me see, what can we adjust in here? Vertex, let me select. Okay, the bottom part seems to be a bit shrinked down. So let me scale this down like so, and I use the move to. I also use the move to kind of move this up because the spacing now is kind of out of place. So let me scale this down like so, and I will use the move to kind of move this up because the spacing now is kind of out of place. So let me scale this down like so, and I will use the move to kind of move this up because the spacing now is kind of out of place. So let me scale this down like so, and I will use the move to kind of move this up because the spacing now is kind of out of place. So let me scale this down like so, and I will use the move to kind of move this up because the spacing now is kind of out of place. So let me scale this down like so, and I will use the move to kind of move this up because the spacing now is kind of out of place. So let me scale this down like so, and I will use the move to kind of move this up because the spacing now is kind of out of place. So let me scale this down like so, and I will use the move to kind of move this up because the spacing now is kind of out of place. So let me scale this down like so, and I will use the move to kind of move this up because the spacing now is kind of out of place. So let me scale this down like so, and I will use the move to kind of move this up because the spacing now is kind of out of place. So let me scale this down like so, just to be sure. In this, let's kind of get a equal, even out spacing again. Now select this the scale to scratch this in. Okay, scale this in. The top part is fine. Let me take all of this and push this upward a bit more, just to have that evened out spacing on the faces, especially for the quadest faces. So now I can make a backup for this before moving on. Let's see what else can. Okay, let's scale this. Let's rotate this. Let's just duplicate first, like I said. And now we center pivot. Now we can let's go to hit E on the keyboard. You can rotate this way. So on the rotate Z, you can type in 90. Okay, minus 90 instead, minus 90. Negative 90 instead. Then we can put this in place. Yeah, this is kind of roughly where we want it to be. Okay. Let's not look for a better view for this. So I'll push it this way. It should be in here like so. Yeah, this is fine. Now we can actually scale this part properly. But let's not center this though. Let's center this though. Let's center this. Now scale this out. Okay, yeah, that scale is so hit 3 on the keyboard. It's gonna be on auto smooth for this. The edge is not pointy, it's not as pointy as I want it to be though. I want that to be really pointy. So let me see if I can. So now I'm kind of adjusting the pivot for this. So hit D on the keyboard. So go to the pivot for this. So I'll center the pivot at the edge. Somewhere around here should be fine. So now I think I can scale this from here now. Let's see. Let me push this out first. Push this back in just to kind of make this sit on top of this. And I can scale this in like so. Though that's fine, though from a distance, kind of zoom it from a distance, it feels pointed at the edge, which is kind of fine though. Yeah, just something like this. Now you can see how it's pointed from a distance. So I need to make like a loop around more duplicates, just to make a loop around this. Maybe probably 3 more duplicates for this. So let me select this. Scale this out a bit more. Maybe somewhere around here should be fine. Just trying to eyeball this just to be sure. Maybe down a bit. Because I don't want this to be the size to be overlapping the ring where we have that's kind of the ring that's kind of the pokers are kind of sitting on. I don't want the pokers to kind of extend or bleed out of that ring they're sitting on.